Hey, I'd like to show you how the approval and the discussion on time entries can happen within the time tracker. As a first example, I'm going to talk through how this happens between two users, an approver and a user within both within Salesforce. So I'm logged in here as an approver. I see a time entry. I have a question and I type that in here. And then I'm going to switch to another tab, which is I'm logged in as the user there. So when I log in as the user, I see that this comment is in here. So I put in my comment, which says, yes, you are right. I have now fixed the time entry, right? And I post that. So now when I go back to the other side and do a quick refresh so that you don't need to really do this, but because I've logged in on two different tabs. That's why I need to do this here. So let's say I have refreshed it and I go back to the approvals tab. I'm going to look for Sue Shetty, which is the user that I was chatting with. And I look at that particular entry and look at the discuss. You'll see that you can see that entry as well, right? That the user has made. Now you can do the same thing with the user that's logged in within on the web app, on the TimeTracker web app. So I'm going to look for a user. Um, I'm looking at Gail. I'm logged in as Gail on the other side on the TimeTracker web app. So I go in here and let's say that I have a question about something on this particular, on the Vitasol 100F. So as the user, I have a question. I can go in here and I'll put in my comment. Should so let's so should I um, add the additional half an hour that I spent on this, right? And I put this there. So here's Gail's comment. Now I'm going to go back to the other side to the time review and let's look at all of these. And I'm going to quickly refresh this so that the comments are all in here. And let's go back to the time review and the approvals tab, right? So when I go back to the approvals tab and look for Gail's entries, and I go in and look at that specific uh, time record and look at the discuss, there's Gail's question. And I can say, as the approver, I say, yes, you should, and post that. And when Gail is logged in, she will see that comment. I'm just going to go back somewhere else and come here so that we can look at, I think I picked the wrong one there. Oops. Let me just log back in. I went all the way out. And we look at the time entries here. So while this is coming up, the other thing that I wanted to say is this can also work between the approver and the time tracking user, both being within using the web app. So that's the interesting thing here. So now you see that both people's the Gail's original comment and Julia's yes you should both show up on here so that Gail can now go in and make that change and save that based on her um, manager's approval, and that's that. So you can have a fairly detailed discussion about time entries, either between the approver and the time tracker user, both being within Salesforce, the approver being in Salesforce and the user being on the web, or both the approver and the time tracker user being within the web app. So it works for all of those.